Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, Lisa, for organizing this important event. You've heard from South Dakota farmers and farm groups about some of the concrete steps they're taking to either more precisely apply the chemicals they use to produce crops or to conserve resources, to essentially be better stewards of the land and the resources that are available to them to produce the food and the fuel that we all enjoy. I'm here along with Doug Bourbon to talk a little bit about what the ethanol producers are doing to make sure that ethanol production and use remain a part of the clean energy future that we all need to be working towards. Today, of course, there are only two commercially viable sources of fuel to power our automobiles. One is oil, and the other source of fuel is, of course, biofuels. And on Earth Day, of all days, I think it's important for us to recognize that oil is getting more difficult to find, more expensive to drill, and more harmful to the environment at the very same time that ethanol is getting more sustainable, more efficient, and cleaner. In other words, the age of easy oil is over, and we are literally scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to future supplies of oil. These remaining supplies of oil are unattractive to the environment, cause a lot of baggage when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions and climate change. According to the International Energy Administration, oil supplies are tightening as major oil fields are getting older and less productive. And so as oil firms have to dig deeper and drill more costly wells, oil is going to get even more expensive for consumers and more harmful to the environment. And when oil prices inevitably increase, and they will, the result will be sharp pain for consumers and the environment unless we do something now to make sure that biofuels remain a viable alternative to oil. And so thanks to technology innovations, ethanol again is getting more sustainable and efficient, so future supplies are going to cost consumers less, and those supplies will be compatible with our need to address climate change. You've heard from the farmers and the farm groups about some of the concrete steps they're taking to reduce nutrient use, fertilizer use, chemical use. Well, ethanol producers are doing the same thing. In fact, according to the Department of Energy, ethanol producers reduced water use by over 20% in the last 5 years. In that same space of time, ethanol producers have reduced energy use by more than 25%. A recent study from the University of Nebraska indicated that the greenhouse gas impact of ethanol is 50% better than today's gasoline. And you can see some of these charts. This is from the Department of Energy, and it indicates that today's corn ethanol on average is anywhere between 19 and 50% better than gasoline. Future sources of ethanol, whether from corn or other feedstocks, will be considerably better. In fact, future sources of ethanol are likely to be somewhere between 50 and 90% better from a greenhouse gas standpoint than petroleum. What about future sources of oil? Well, future sources of oil are going to release 3 to 5 times more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere than today's oil, which is already worse for the environment than ethanol. And so, while biofuels are far from perfect, they are far superior to the alternative we have today. And we wanted to recognize Earth Day as a day when we need to recognize that oil is in a state of decline. Ethanol is going to get better and better every day. And with your permission, Lisa, I'll introduce the next speaker to give you some specific examples of what the ethanol producers are doing to reduce energy use. We have Doug Bourbon here with POET.
Thank you, Brian.